Crisp.
You have the fruitiest clap. I just want to point that out.
What would you do differently, David?
You got to snap. Stop.
Hey, can you? I guess it's my job. Huh?
Make sure it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
And up. He's very tall.
I can slouch. Because this.
Let me fix that.
No, we're good. Look, we're good, fam. We're good. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
The power. I'm going to look at the camera the whole episode.
Yeah, just look straight at it.
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you? What's up?
Oh, let me go ahead and cut all that out.
What? What are you cutting out?
You flopping the camera around on poor Arun.
Hey, listen. I didn't kick the damn thing through the entire episode.
I had kicked it so much, I think it had like pivoted to the left. And so while she was talking, I was just swiveling it back towards her. Yeah.
This is dynamic content.
Dynamic content.
You have to use your creativity.
Yeah, you got to slide around the edit and
Yeah. Do some nice transitions, maybe.
crazy transitions. Yeah.
Like the star
No, not
hand
that.
in and out thing.
No, and you got to add sound effects to the transition so that you know something's happening. Whoosh, whoosh, like that. You have to do it.
It's a graphic novel of
The
Automotive
Mr.
service.
Beasts of the world have essentially like dictated what a video is supposed to look like.
Matt Pat was his name.
What are you talking about?
Remember the other day I said some super duper famous YouTube guy came in? His name was Matt Pat.
Matt.
I've never heard of this.
Pat?
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is. Hang on, we'll look it up.
What's he famous for?
He had like one of the first and most famous YouTube channels ever.
Doing what kind of content?
I have no idea.
Okay.
You know as much as I do.
All right. But you recognized him?
No. Oh my God. What did we do, David? I'm pushing buttons. No. There we go. Matt Pat. Let's see. He was Matthew Patrick, also known as Matt Pat, is a retired YouTube content creator and co-founder of the Theorist YouTube channels. Best known for creating The Game Theorist, a channel that delves into the video game universe.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't have been able to identify that person ever. That is insane. You're nuts. Anyway, so Mr. Beast essentially has now dictates.
He doesn't realize he was muted for He got really upset. I muted him one time and he freaked out.
Did you have me on mute?
It was an accident, man. I'm sorry. Don't worry, you weren't actually muted. We just couldn't hear you. It was fantastic.
Do you want to clap again?
Yeah. I'll try and do a less feminine clap for you next time, David.
It was fruity. Did I say fruity? What did I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Less fruity clap for you
There you
next
go.
time.
Do it.
Well, I don't need to clap. We've already done it. Oh, my God.
So we were talking about managing two businesses remotely, and I thought, because all I had to go a frame of reference was the last time you recorded. I didn't know how it's been going the last couple months.
It's been challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's okay. We got this.
I was talking to a guy right before this, and
yeah, he was supposed to be on the show first thing this morning, the one that hurt his knee.
oh, and why didn't?
I don't know.
'Cause he was in the hospital,
Probably.
with a hurt knee. Okay.
Yeah. Did he end up going to the hospital?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He had
it was like,
he didn't break anything, but they couldn't do an MRI because it's too swollen.
yeah, dude, last night, like when I saw it, it was hardcore. Like,
Yeah.
He probably tore meniscus.
He
then.
probably, I think it was the back of his knee.
Ooh.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's like critical stuff back there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like, dude, it was like,
And he said he heard a very loud pop.
Oh.
I
So
was like, yeah, you're.
tore the ACL.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun.
He's a
gonna-
tech.
Oh,
He's not a
that-
shop
yeah.
owner. So
Okay.
he was mostly concerned about the fact that he wasn't going to be able to go to the gym. And I said, your job requires you to have both legs also.
right?
You're not going to be able to work.
Chair.
You're not going to be able to walk.
Yeah.
You're going to need surgery. They're going to have to attach a cadaver, ACL.
Yeah.
And you're going to be down
that's-
for 6 months.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy
So-
to think about.
And what was he doing?
Playing red light, green light.
So he stopped so abruptly that his knee went, whoa, and exploded.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
He's a thin guy, too.
Yeah.
I could see, like,
He's in shape. He's 28. Yeah.
I think he was just like absolutely determined to win. He was giving it his all.
He was giving it his all to not get out
Yeah.
of red light, green light. Yeah.
That sucks.
I was supposed to play and I just got caught up talking to people and I'm kind of glad.
Yeah,
I
'cause,
would
like-
definitely have hurt myself.
Yeah, dude. He
you
was
were going
like,
to blow out your knee, too.
I have bad knees already, so I'm already careful, but I would have hurt my back or my shoulder. I don't know. That's something
what are you
would have
doing?
gone wrong.
What are you doing in red light, green light to hurt your shoulder? I don't.
Tripping on myself,
Okay.
falling down.
No,
pretty
were they
tall.
playing, like, the creepy Korean music and everything?
It was
with the little-
supposed to be a equivalent to Squid Games.
Yeah.
So yes. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't hear the music, and nobody had the red uniforms, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was the point. They called it.
How were they?
gear
How were
games.
they eliminating? Were they,
They just added
pellets,
time, not paintball.
paintballs?
that would have been better because they
Yeah.
made everybody wear a special shirt anyways.
Yeah,
so
just
ruin the
nail
shirt
them
right
with
away.
a
Yeah.
red paintball.
The frozen ones.
Everybody goes home with a bruise,
Yeah. Yeah.
except for one who gets all the money, which is like
Who won?
$10. I don't know.
He blew out his knee for $10.
No,
And he's saying we were the reason he's here. This is your fault. I didn't encourage anybody to come to this, okay? I wanted everybody to have intact knees. But Lucas was over here. Well, you should come down, blow your knee out. It'll be a good time.
So, how much money should a tech who wants to become a shop owner have in the bank before they open their own shop?
Without this is after purchasing the shop,
Okay.
liquid cash, 100,000.
Okay.
Liquid cash.
Yeah.
That's after he purchases the shop.
Yeah.
So if he's going to go in and buy the shop, he needs to look for something that has a lot of potential, but is not managed properly, have all the training in the world, or be willing to be the only employee in the place for a year, and buy it seller financing. That's what I would go after. Is I'm going to go talk to 1,800 shops, and I'm going to find the one guy who's willing to sell it to me for $3,000 a month for the next 5 years, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then whatever the rent factor is, so just another bill tacked on, knowing that I can do myself $40,000 to $50,000 a month by myself,
Right.
just working 12 hours a day.
No.
That's the only way I would do it.
And he said he had 200,000 put aside.
Yep.
So far.
Yep.
And so
He has 200,000 cash. He's got 200,000 in some retirement account he's about to blow up.
Cash.
Yeah.
Cash.
Yep.
And you know, so I see that and I think it's good that he's starting to look at the concept of, hey, I'm going to buy an existing shop, right? Because that's going to be a big deal for him, right?
We had a whole video on this.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm about to die.
That cert really did it. Turns out it wasn't a lifesaver; it was a cert.
This is a disaster. This guy blows his knee out. I'm about to choke and die. All right. We talked about this in the video we did. If the guy is disciplined enough to save $200,000 at 28
Yeah.
years old
Yep.
Yeah,
on a tech salary, he is disciplined enough to run a shop.
yeah, for sure.
He just
Yeah, I
needs to
agree.
know the ins and outs of running a shop.
Yep.
But he's going to be very careful with his money. He's going to be regimented. He's not going to buy whatever nonsense somebody comes in and tries to sell him. He's going to make sure that he's watching his P's and Q's. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got 100,000 he can go buy a shop with, and he's got some liquid cash, and he just needs to make sure that he cash flows immediately.
Yeah,
Which I think because he is a capable tech,
Yes,
he could
can
do that.
very quickly.
he can
Yes.
do as long as he's buying a shop where, he doesn't get overwhelmed by bad customers that take advantage of him, I would say.
yeah,
Because if a tech buys an existing business that has, and they don't have the savvy to filter out bad customers, then they're going to get run over.
Yeah.
Potentially by either lawsuits or chargebacks or something.
Yeah,
or just bad reviews.
Yeah.
But he's coming to this event, which is a chunk of money to show up to this thing anyway, right?
Yeah.
By the time you factor in the hotel and
Travel
all
and
that
everything
stuff, yeah.
He is staying at a different hotel to
Yeah.
save costs.
It's smart,
So, yeah.
yeah. If he's got the scratch to show up here, and has enough sense that I'm going to get as much training as possible to make sure that I know he's going to be able to implement systems immediately. And if the shop is just improperly managed, then I guarantee you it's like every other improperly managed shop. The car counts 2,000 cars a month with a $150 ARO. He's going to need to immediately fire 75% of his customers.
Right.
Otherwise, he's going to need to retain the techs. Those techs are going to leave. Whatever techs are there, they're going to quit, or he's going to have to fire them. A combination of both. Meaning he needs to be able to rely on himself. He needs 100 cars a month or whatever, with a good ARO, $500-$600 ARO. He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
That's what he can achieve with being his own service advisor. Also, can't spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes on every customer. You'd run out of time in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be okay.
Yeah.
I think he'll do just fine.
I've got a shop he can buy right now.
What's the going price these days?
2 honey buns. Inflation.
It's
Wow. Times are tough.
he needs
Yeah,
to
I
pay
know,
off.
right?
He's either take over the debt or pay off the
Isn't
debt. And that's it.
isn't Trump in office now?
Yeah.
It's not one anymore. Should come back down right away.
No, you would think, but listen.
Give him time. Give him time. He's
right,
cooking.
all right.
He's cooking. Give him time.
And listen, David's acquired a taste for a much higher quality honey bun, and
Okay,
he's on
okay.
this health kick, so it can't have any gluten. It can't have any of these
No real sugar.
processed foods.
Yeah. No red dye 40. All that's got to be gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta be
it's
healthy.
a
Can't-
very lame cream covered honey bun. It's a terrible situation.
I can only imagine though, if that day ever comes, you'll be very overweight in no time
Yeah.
What do you mean?
because
When?
you'll have given up your livelihood for a honey bun, and you'll just commit yourself to the dessert for the rest of your life.
No, he's going to be a mac and cheese guy.
That's true. You'll commit yourself to the dairy and carbs for the rest of your life.
I've given up on the mac and cheese truck.
Really?
I'm gonna go after something very specific. I'm gonna buy something already made and just sell it on the internet. And I'm not even gonna stock it. I'm gonna buy it straight from the manufacturer. They're gonna ship it to the end user. All I have to do is run ads.
So you have do you have $20,000 to invest with me, the Instagram influencer, to create your FBA store?
No, I don't want the FBA.
Okay.
No. Amazon, because the problem with FBA is that Amazon ends up owning everything.
Yeah.
Right. And the minute the Amazon algorithm changes, you're screwed. No, you've got to own everything. So you've got to own the storefront. You can't even do Shopify because Shopify owns everything too. So you've got to have the website built on WordPress or something like that. All of the back end has got to be yours. The only thing that if you get hooked up with a manufacturer, that you just got to know that manufacturer can fulfill, and you've got to meet whatever their minimum requirements are. So they're going to say, hey, I'm going to require that you buy $10,000 worth of product up front. And then as the orders come in, we'll ship them out for you. So you just got to pony up the cash for that. And as long as you do that and you run enough ads, you've got the money to spend on ads, and the ads are good enough, you should be fine.
A really cool guy, he's in the group, started a diesel performance shop around about the same time I started my shop. And he really focused on e-commerce. And the diesel performance world is all drop ship, right? And so he just took it and ran with it. And the key for his success was the quality of the website, the details, the information, the cataloging.
You talking about Eric?
No,
Eric did really well too.
he did. Yeah. This
That
is
was
a
more
much
transmissions, right?
Well, he was.
Eric.
transmissions and Duramax. He was a
Yeah.
Duramax tech, and he does, for sure. Merchant Automotive is like the
Hey, you
name.
need to introduce our guest 15 minutes into it.
Why are you interrupting me?
I'm just saying, you gotta introduce the guy.
This is David Roman. Please tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself, David.
You know what the guy said with the knee? He looked at me and goes, "You're like a TV guy or something. I've seen you on video." I don't know your name though. I go, okay.
I just, my favorite part of any of these conferences is when somebody tries to shake David's hand at the urinal. That's like the best thing ever. Like
everybody shakes my hand as I'm walking out of the bathroom, so my hands are just dripping wet, and I gotta go.
They have these nice towels here, and you know that
My hands are still wet though.
You're
They're
a
still
TV
wet.
personality. You gotta have dry hands.
The TV person.
Yeah.
And I go, "Sorry, I got wet hands." And they go,
That was the first time I saw you today. The first words out of your mouth.
"Yeah, right."
was, "Sorry,
I got wet
wet
hands. Anyway, introduce our guy.
Do we need to introduce him? Everybody knows him.
I don't think he knows your name.
My name is Arun Coumar.
See,
We're friends on Facebook, Instagram.
you're friends with everybody on Facebook and Instagram. You have like 18,000 friends.
You can only have 5,000.
Okay, you
I
have
keep going in
5,000.
and deleting those people that I
Randos?
don't like anymore.
That's why I
Add some
stopped
new-
seeing the up. Yeah. all right.
You know better than. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is what, your third appearance on the show?
Second.
Second.
Well, my first was shameful in a way because it came
What?
the day after I got really bad news from my shop.
Oh, that's
It
right.
was $400 repair that turned into me writing a $3,000 check to
Yeah.
a customer.
The guy took the Sawzall to the truck and
Yeah.
just cut through the wiring. And he's like, "Nying."
Whoops.
Yeah, so that hasn't happened anymore.
Are you sure? Are you
Yes.
sure? Are you just saying that
Well,
because
this
like
is
you have to
managing
redeem
remotely,
yourself?
right? Managing remotely. So I'm trusting my team to.
Are you still doing the podcast thing or the influencer?
No, I
thing?
gave up on that.
Did you really?
I did because I was telling David I was on this podcast before and
Yeah.
I skyrocketed all the way to like 100 listens per episode,
Oh shit.
and then it went right back down to 20
Oh man.
after like a couple months, and I
Yeah.
said, okay, no traction. This is not worth the time right now.
And I don't disagree.
How
with you.
many episodes were you in though?
150.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah, half of them were 3 minutes long.
Yeah, you
But-
had that
yeah.
back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that what dictates success is how hard you push it.
Yeah, and so I was saying I have enough going on that I didn't
Yeah.
want to push yet another thing. I was getting annoying, especially the fact that everything is just called Driven.
Yeah.
Even when I introduced myself last time, it's like, oh, I have 4 different companies called Driven. Isn't that great? It's like, shut up, Arun. So, yeah, I thought I sounded so cool.
You'd like quadruple down on that whole driven thing. Like,
Well,
I
now
like
I
that.
got. I mean, I ended my talk yesterday telling everybody to stay driven. So,
there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
It's got a whole catchphrase. I
yeah,
like it.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely.
So I'm
It's-
sticking with it, but it's a bit more focused on things that make money.
So tell us when you say focused, what are we talking here? What did we take out? Where, like, how did we focus?
Yeah.
it?
So I think when I said I had 4 before, it was the We Are Driven brand, which was sort
Yeah.
of this car enthusiast motivational brand for
Yeah.
apparel and a podcast, and that's no more.
Okay.
The other one that is no more is Driven Underground, was the enthusiast focused service business,
Okay.
which was just part of my only shop at the time,
right.
where I had bought a shop that had an enthusiast brand and a general repair brand, and I kept both and rebranded both.
Okay.
I got rid of the enthusiast brand there. So now I get rid of the enthusiasts, basically.
You listened to David finally.
Yes.
What when
No, it
you
wasn't, that's not a me thing. That's a Mike
You were-
Molesky thing.
You were trashing enthusiasts. the
Well,
last
that's
time I
how you
was
can
on.
blame Mike. You can blame Mike
You can
Molesky. You blame Mike Molesky. That's all him.
No,
Because he started as a performance
Yeah.
Audi VW, and he's like, I
Oh, I
can't make
remember.
money
Yeah.
doing this.
Right. Yeah.
This
what
is
was
miserable.
what was the takeaway from sunsetting that brand? Was there any impact? Did anybody say anything? Was there
It went from there being noise and then also cars in the shop that really only I could handle
Yeah.
to no more of that.
Got it.
And no, it didn't feel like any less cars in the shop overall.
Right.
Yeah.
So no consumer complaints, no.
No, it wasn't a huge brand. I mean, I killed the brand that was there, rebranded it to Driven Underground, which lasted 8 months or something like that, and so it wasn't like a big thing that I.
So it sounds like you reduced a
on.
ton of stress out of your life.
It was a ton of time that wasn't returning me anything.
Yeah.
So.
It makes me think about like some of the things that I was doing when I first hired a coach, and like even with the other business with the coach involved, it's like, hey, like a big part of having a coach is defining what time investment is valuable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because in a lot of cases, we get all these like wild hair ideas, and we're entrepreneurs, and we think all these big things are great. And I think part of the reason that the coach didn't work for the situation that I was in here a while back was that because the other person involved like didn't want anybody to say this huge, big, great, massive idea is stupid, right?
Yeah.
And that's what a coach does is they come in and they say, hey, this is ridiculous.
Don't do that.
Right? Like you could, and a great example is my first coach. I was mowing the grass behind the house, hurt my back and couldn't work one week. And he's like, you could probably pay somebody to mow the grass for a whole lot less than you're worth an hour. Right? Yeah. Like, why are you?
I try to convince my wife of all that. I'm like, my time is much more valuable than whatever nonsense you want me to do. I'm just going to hire somebody. But really, I don't want to do it. That's all.
My wife called me out for exactly that.
You didn't convince her. You didn't sell it hard enough.
No.
Yeah.
This is the new stupid story was I had a kid 2 months ago, as I mentioned.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so now my time is extremely more limited.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't look like you've slept in a while.
No, I slept last night for the first time in a very long time.
True.
Yeah. I was in the hotel. But so I get the schedule, the way it's worked out is I get about 8 to 9 hours a day during the middle of the day to leave the house, go to work.
Okay.
And that is significantly lower than the amount of hours I used to work.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like I should be prioritizing, very high ROI tasks, such as, of course, flying across the country to buy a Lamborghini sight unseen, transport it back here, and then do a photo shoot with it. So my wife then
Wait,
after I
hold
do
on, what?
No, I'm just gonna keep talking. No. Let me finish.
It's fine. Listen, that's not the part I wanted to talk about. Let's keep going.
So I get the car back here, and I spend 2 of my 8 to 9 hours of a day doing a photo shoot, and then the car breaks down on the way back from the photo shoot.
Oh my God.
And so then it turns into like a 6-hour thing. And I've worked just a little bit of that day. And then the next day I'm complaining about how my time is so valuable. That did not go over well.
Yeah, I'd say not.
But the pictures are fantastic.
I did see that on your profile the other day.
Yes.
The car doesn't run. It doesn't matter.
No, it ran when that picture was taken.
It's just now.
What was the end game with buying this random car sight unseen?
No. That's my dream car.
The Lamborghini.
I earned it, yeah.
It was
still
his dream car. Now it doesn't run and he doesn't like it anymore.
I still like it, yeah.
How do you fit in it?
I don't.
Okay, I was going to say, because
So I had an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
My knee was wedged between the dash and the steering wheel such that I couldn't fit even my hand between the steering wheel and my knee. So I couldn't turn right very well. So I basically have to turn and then let go of the steering wheel and then keep turning. So that was difficult. This car, I don't have that problem because the dash is much shorter and further back. So my knee can kind of fall into the passenger side of the car. But the headroom is non-existent.
Yeah.
My head is against the ceiling in that car. But it is amazing.
Listen.
You know what's nice? A minivan. Let me tell you.
I daily a Ford Explorer. It's not a minivan, but
minivans are so much better than you're very tall. I can just slide into my minivan. I don't have to shift it.
When his knee blows out, he can just like roll in.
I just do. I roll in. So it's easy on the knees and hips. And then like I don't have to shift or anything like that. The car's so easy going. Half the time I don't even pay attention to what's going on the road. The only thing I wish it had was lane keep. So so I would have to pay no attention to it. But other than that, it is fantastic.
You could get a newer van for that, right?
Yeah.
No, because then it comes with all the extra like stuff. I don't want any of that nonsense. Like I have a Camry. I'm renting a Camry, and sometimes you go very short distances without putting your seatbelt on. That thing starts like sounding off all these alarms. If you try to drive more than 5 feet without your stupid seatbelt on, try to put it in drive, and then start rolling, and it's like, like holy crap!
But
it's not just a little ding every 5 seconds.
It's actually the valet dude that you ran over top of and drug halfway.
No,
up
the car would
road.
stop. The car stops on its own.
Did the uniform have bells on it? No, I think my F-250, it doesn't do that when you drive somewhere without the seatbelt on. It just mutes the audio. It's a really weird punishment sort of thing.
You do what Scott does. You buckle the seatbelt and sit on top
Oh, yeah,
of it.
of course. Yeah. That's
Just
what everybody
plug something
does.
into the thing.
Yeah.
No, I wear my seatbelts. From when I'm going from the drop off to the self parking, I don't need to wear a seatbelt. I'm not going more than 5 miles an hour.
I don't know. I've seen you drive. You might need to wear a seatbelt.
I don't drive fast. I drive distracted, just not fast. I don't get it. You need to explain to me. I mean, are they cool cars? Yeah, I get it. They're cool cars. I would never want to own one. That's insane,
Dude, I always wanted like supercars and sports cars, and I always thought and the turning point for me was Steve Eichner's 01 Vet, because it was in the shop, and this was like I'd worked on a couple of these cars, and I had not completely lost all hope for them. I was to the point that I'm thinking, man, these things are giant piles of junk, right?
they're so crappy. Yes,
and so
not yours. Yours is great.
But is it modified or just a stock?
This was a
Corvette.
This was a stock C5, and then he bought a Z06, which was a pretty sweet car. But I get into this thing, and we're dealing with the column lock issues that those cars are just known to have, right? Mm-hmm. And I get in, and somehow, some way, I shut the door, turn the key on, and the automatic seat thing where you can like set a preset.
Yeah,
It's like,
I don't know what's going on, but
the
this thing is like taking me forward, and my knees hit the dash, and it will not stop, dude. And I'm like trying to turn the key off, but the column lock crap is screwed up, so I can't turn the key off. The door's locked. I'm panicked at this point because I know what's getting ready to happen. I'm like trying to get the door open, can't get to unlock. It's a stupid GM slider lock thing, and so it's all like jammed up, and I'm freaking out, and my knees smash into the dash, and like blood is running down my kneecaps. I'm in shorts, and it's like totaling the plastic in this Vet's dash, and there's pieces and parts on them. Oh my God, this is awful. Like, I never want a sports car. I never want a nice car like this, ever.
You could just change the seat memory preset, and that would do it for you.
Well, I know, but at this point, it's cost me $1,000 in dash panels. And half of them they don't make anymore, so you got to find them on eBay and hope they're the right color.
Mid-America has them. Mid-America has them. You know what's funny is like when they switched over to the C6, they still had components of the C5 in the one transition year, the very first year. So half the car was C6, half the car was C5, including the lock switch issue thing.
Yeah.
That thing is a flaming pile. The 05 C6 Corvette. Oh man, that is the junkiest car. The junkiest car. Trash. You know what's nice? Minivan. That's
I had a friend who had a SS Camaro, and that car started with a 383 Pro-charged Chevrolet performance engine in it, right?
I don't know why you would stick a Pro Charger on a 383, but whatever. Go ahead.
It was pretty rowdy. It was
kind of stupid.
It was pretty rowdy, and then it ended up big blocked, and that car was stupid, and it was supercharged as a big block, and so it was just a stupid car. There was nothing about it that wasn't stupid. And we pulled out one time, and as we're taking up the parkway, front tires completely off the ground, right? Riding up through there, just killing it. And all of a sudden, something lets loose, and like my arm feels funny, and I look over, and the drive shafts come through the transmission hoop in the back. I'm like, whoa, okay, maybe this is too much.
You know what I can appreciate? I can appreciate what Justin Allen did.
Yeah,
getting Saab. The old Saab. It's not like 90% stock. He's just kind of restoring it.
And he doesn't expect it to run.
He knows it's not going to run.
Yeah.
I have a version of that too. Did I tell you guys about that before? My Passat W8.
Oh yeah. See, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be
That's
hella
a-
cool.
I have two Passat W8.
one for parts.
One's a 6-speed. One's a automatic wagon.
Oh,
What
that's cool.
Yeah.
What year?
They only made them like 2 or 3 years, didn't they?
03 and 04.
Yeah, we had one. We've got a family that we work for, and the daughter had a W8, and then they went to. Is it a Phaeton? Is that how they say
Yeah,
it?
the big one. Yeah.
Dude, that thing
W12.
was. Yeah, that thing was the biggest piece of it. Oh,
Yeah, but that's a weird, rare car.
Yeah.
That only like people in the know would see that car and go, "That is a cool car."
Yeah.
Because it's really weird and stupid and German and like everything stupid you could put into a car. They did with that Phaeton W12.
Dude, it was awful.
You get a V8. Was it W8 or V8?
W8.
You can get a normal one. In the
it was a
Phaeton.
V8.
Yeah.
Still stupid because of all the other technology.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
compete with the S-Class, but it's a Volkswagen, so it didn't.
Right. and it was the technology was beyond its time for what it was. And so it just was not reliable. Right. Nothing in that car worked the way it was supposed to. It was miserable.
Does anything work in the VW the way it's supposed to?
No, of course not.
The DSG was stupid beyond its time and didn't work the way it was supposed to.
You know, I have never had more complaints about one car than a vehicle with a DSG in it. Everybody came in and said, it
You know what
just
else?
feels like it shifts so funny. It's a DSG. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and they don't tell the consumer. These people think that they buy normal.
Right.
You got it with the Fords too.
Yeah.
When Ford put their stupid DSG
Yeah,
in their
the dual
junky ass
clutch deal
cars.
and-
Yeah. It's like, hey, there's something wrong with my, this isn't an automatic. Same thing with the CVTs.
Yeah.
They don't tell people that, hey, this is kind of like a clutch. Clutch goes out 150,000. Guess what you got to do? You got to take the transmission out, put it on clutch or whatever.
Unless it's a Jatco, and then it's only 20,000. You don't have to worry about it.
A what?
Jatco, the ones that are in the Nissans.
Yeah.
You only get 20,000 out of those. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
20,000 miles?
Yeah. If you're lucky.
Oh, the whole
The
CVT
price has
thing?
gone up. Hey, my wife's the one in her Rogue. It used to be like $1,800 or $1,900. Now they're like $5,000.
Yeah, no, they've jumped a huge amount in price. But I tell people all the time, like this is a service like item. This is just like changing your oil. Every 150,000, you're putting a transmission in this. They think I'm nuts. They're like, well, my uncle's Nissan lasted 250,000 miles. It's like, okay, I had a normal transmission back when they were good cars. They're no
David,
longer good cars.
Is that really what you think makes people think you're nuts? What you say about their cars? Is that really the
I think
deciding
it
factor?
contributes. I think it contributes.
Do you pull up to the shop in your minivan
Yeah, dent in the
you're
back and
in
everything.
the car by
I've got
yourself,
a new thing.
right?
So we got like 18 feet of snow in Kansas City. We never get that much snow. And then the temperature dropped to like 0 for a week straight. So all of the snow turned into giant chunks of ice.
Mhm.
And none of it melted. So all the parking lots had 10 feet of snow piled up in front of all the parking spots. And I'm like, it's snow. It should be fine. And I kept driving forward and I just heard crunch. Didn't think anything of it. Back out, half my bumper got ripped off. So now I got a dent in the back and a busted bumper.
What van do you have?
Grand Caravan,
What year?
2019.
Okay.
17. So 17.
Because I was
bought
going
it.
to say, for how much you like Volkswagen, you could get
Oh, I hate
what is
Volkswagens.
basically
Oh,
the
yeah, the
equivalent,
Rutan.
the
Yeah.
Rutan. You could just
No,
get a
no,
I absolutely
Volkswagen
hate
Grand Caravan.
He's gonna get one of the what did they Vagons? Are they?
The new ID Buzz.
Oh
No.
Hey, hey, did you see anything about that in Europe? Did you hear anything about what
Are
happened?
they catching
No.
on fire?
No, it's way better than that. They decided they were going to send a software update, and the software update crashed all of them, and so they wouldn't run. And so there was just like this whole
They just
fleet
bricked
of
them.
cars
Yeah.
that had to be towed in. Like these people would
See,
update
that's
their
why I
car.
don't want to buy anything new.
Yeah.
One, they're spying on you the whole time.
Yeah.
And they tell you, they're like, hey, by the way, we're spying on you this whole time. And then two, like they push software updates over the air. Like, that's insane. No. I want like old school, like modules. that barely needed flashing. And I want it to be a well-established chassis. So, because I know, like that engine, that 3.6, that had already been producing for several years. So they had whatever kinks they could get out. About 150,000 miles. I still haven't replaced the oil cooler. See?
Good luck.
Yet.
I think one of the rockers is out, maybe. Sometimes I hear a tick.
We've
But other
got
than
we've got a town and country that's got a little bit of a tick, and I keep telling them, like, just stop driving it and put cams and lifters in it. Like, just be done with this.
Just the lifter. You don't have to take the cams out. You can sneak the lifter in and just slap
it.
Yeah. Catch it early, and you don't have to do any of that nonsense.
I don't know that they called it.
The transmission's leaking all over the place, but the engine's tight. Engine's good.
Yeah, we were in Kansas City a while back, and I'm like, hey, dude, this thing's got a pretty rowdy shift flare. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's just getting low on transmission fluid.
That's okay. It's those stupid pans on that 62 TE. They put a pan on the front, on the bottom, and on the side. Like, okay, let's create more leak points.
We were working on a Dodge pickup. This dude's been coming to the shop for years. And the first time he ever came to the shop, it was cold. And I want to say he had a 7.3, shows up at the shop. And the 7.3s, when it gets really cold, they've got these mixing chamber filters that were bad to stop up anyway. Nobody even knew they were there. But when it got cold, these mixing chamber filters would pick up the wax out of the fuel because it's not in the part of the fuel system that even remotely ever warms up until the truck runs for a while. And so the blockage that's already in the mixing chamber filters, because they've never been replaced, coupled with the wax, would cause them to like gel up and the truck wouldn't run. And so I think that was the first truck he brought in. And I guess 3 or 4 weeks ago, he calls me on a Sunday and he's like, hey, dude, I am so sorry to call your cell phone. He's not from there. He's from like down on the coast. He said, truck broke. Can I tow it to the shop? And I said, yeah, that'll be fine. He said, you think you can have it done this week? I'll be up here all week. And I said, we'll see what's going on. And he said, well, it made this really loud bang and it stopped moving. So I got off the side of the road and shut it down. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's going to be this week. And so I was heading to Tulsa, and they right before I leave and go out there and they're pulling the transmission out of it. I'm like, yeah, that flex plate is in pieces. Holy cow, I've never seen a flex plate take out the whole rear engine cover on one of those. It's a 68 RFE up against a 6.7 liter. And so the rear engine cover is not available for this thing.
Oh my goodness.
So we had to go find one from eBay and source this and all this stuff. We get all the parts there, change the rear engine cover. And Jackals calls me and he's like, hey, dude, can you come help me? This thing will not go back together no matter what I do. I'm like, what's it doing? He said, as soon as I get the transmission up, he's like, I can't even get bolts in before the converter is locked tight against the flex plate. And I said, okay. Now I've had issues on those. Some of them had spacers that if you ran an aftermarket billet flex plate that you were supposed to take the spacer out and little odd and end things like that. And I said, I'll be out in a little bit and we'll look at it. And had it up and I said, dude, the converter's tight. There's no movement in the converter. Nothing feels weird. Feels like it's seated all the way. And we look at it. He puts it up there. And I said, what did it say about the spacer? Measure the thickness of the separator plate or the bell housing adapter that bolts to the back of the motor. And nothing, right? Everything is identical to what it's supposed to be. And I said, hey, dude, tell you what. Before we go too much further, pull the converter off of it. And let's just look and make sure. An hour and a half later, he comes back in. He's like, dude, I can't. I'm like, what? He's like, it won't come off. I'm like,
jeez.
That was the pop he heard. He's like, no, I think it was the flex plate. I was like, no, bro. He broke something. He broke something.
Yeah.
And so after slide hammers and ratchet straps and the whole 9 yards, we get this out. And I'll show y'all when we get done recording. The intermediate shaft unraveled itself in this spiral candy cane type function. And it had pushed the converter out. And, dude, it grenaded. Now, the input shaft was fine, but the intermediate shaft was split in dude, it was probably 2 inches bigger around than it was supposed to be. I've never seen one do it. I'm sure.
What the hell was he doing? Was he towing?
It went into, my understanding is he was going up one of the hills and it went into lockup. And when it went into lockup is when this happened. Let's see. There's the intermediate shaft.
Nice.
All right.
It's not how it's supposed to look.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But so it just made it just long enough they wouldn't go back together. I'm kind of glad it did, though. That would have been shitty.
So what are you doing with this Lamborghini? You don't
Yeah.
drive to the shop in the Lamborghini?
I do
you?
not. No.
Yeah?
I do not. I'm not
Do your
that kind of guy.
employees know
He's
that you have a
competing with
Lamborghini?
They do know.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have to work on it.
No, they don't. It broke down. I sent it to another shop. I can't work on it. No, but it did motivate me to go buy an exotic shop next, maybe. Probably not, but that'd be cool.
I think that's like one level away from performance shop. It's like,
Yes, but they do make money because they're just
they?
doing normal repairs and stuff.
I don't know. I don't know that they do. I don't know that they do.
That makes my anxiety increase slightly.
Yeah. I can see.
It's a
I can
lot
see
to
like
take on.
Yeah,
I have a Mercedes shop or an Audi, BMW,
Yep.
Volkswagen, but that's not the same as I run a
Italians.
Ferrari,
Yeah.
and Lamborghinis or Audis or whatever, right? But like I work on Aston Martins, I work on Ferraris especially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a few people in our group that own Ferrari or deal with Ferrari shops or whatever. Like they're
It just sounds miserable. Like, are you? Is it ever
it
occurred
works.
to you might be too driven?
No, doesn't exist.
Okay, I'm just curious. I just gotta ask.
he's driving the wrong direction. That's the problem. The issue.
Everything. I listened so much to your advice through the years, David. You'd
Me?
be very proud of me. Yeah, that's why I now own multiple shops. Obviously.
He does the exact opposite. Whatever I tell him, he's like, "Oh, I know which way not to go."
I haven't eaten mac and cheese in so long.
I'm
Better off for it.
Yeah, I
I
can't-
closed my e-commerce store. Yeah.
You figured out the code to a successful life. Do the opposite of what David does. Did you know I used to be a positive person? I used to be so
Keep
positive,
saying that.
and I used to be like so happy.
Listen, he's still. How old are you? You're still young.
Then you start paying your taxes.
And- yeah, I know, right?
You're doing too much the opposite.
Yeah.
You can't do
He's
all
still-
of it.
He's still young. How old are you?
29.
See, he's a baby. You are not. I'm just telling you. Like, let's come back in 11 years and talk to poor Arun, who's gonna be like, "Fucking Lamborghini. I shouldn't have ever bought that thing."
That was when my life changed.
It caught on fire. Burnt the
No.
shop to the ground.
It
I
was
thought it caught
like
on fire when it broke down. I thought because a coolant hose burst, and it was dumping all of the exhaust, and it was just white smoke billowing out the back. And
I hope I'm not alone in this, but I have worked on so many clunkers at this point that when I'm driving vehicles, I'm like, and like I've got it down
you get the
pat.
scent. Yeah,
I've got
know.
it down pat.
Yeah.
Like the first thing you do is I'm opening the doors, reaching down, pulling the hood latch because the cables are the first to burn into. And I'm like, get the hood open to make it look like I tried.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and here's my thing is it's not the fear of the car burning to the ground that worries me or being injured or losing a car or something like that. It's more about like, I just don't want to be standing in the middle of the road when it happens. I want to be able to get off the road and walk away from the car and act like I had nothing to do with this.
it's when people pull over. And
Yeah.
say, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, I don't want any
Yeah,
of that.
no, that's
I would
terrible.
rather burn in the car than have to be.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh hell no!
Especially
The
if
last thing I would want to do is burn up in a freaking Lamborghini or some jalopy Audi or something.
Well, listen,
You
if it
kidding
caught
me?
on fire with him in there, it
Can you
takes him
imagine
30
dying in
minutes.
a
Dude,
Kia?
it takes him 30 minutes to get in and out.
Yeah, you're
That's
screwed.
true. Yeah.
You imagine burning up in a Kia? Oh,
That'd be depressing.
yeah, because
This is where
the
it-
heated seats were burning up. They were turning on and they were catching on fire in people's houses. So they said, "Hey, you got to keep because we don't have the equipment or the manpower to fix this recall. Park your car outside." That's what they told
They
them
were
to
saying
do.
the same thing about the Chevy Bolts.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but that was just for the battery, I think, not the.
Yeah, not the
Heated
Oh,
seats.
so much better. The heated seats, okay, they catch on fire. That battery starts to burn.
Yeah.
It's gonna go. They ain't stopping that one.
Yeah, but I do like the saying, "Money doesn't buy happiness, but it's better to cry in a Bugatti." So if you have to burn up,
Yeah.
I'll pick a Lamborghini over a Kia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a rebuttal
No,
to that.
no. Here's the problem.
If you're going to be miserable, it's easier to be miserable in a Bugatti, crying, dabbing your face with money.
I don't know. I think it's more embarrassing that your Bugatti or your Lamborghini burnt down, right? Like
it'll find its way to the internet in more places. And people, your name will be.
I think that's expected.
The Kias are expected to burn down, though.
No, I think it's expected. Like somebody, young entrepreneur, 29 years old, burns up in a Lamborghini he had no business buying or driving. That's the headline. Everybody will go, yeah.
So sad.
So sad.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
It will be.
Even if that were to happen, I would be okay with it.
What year did you get?
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
So one of the first years of like the super like squared off, like
No.
you know what would have been cooler? If you got like a 96 Diablo. That would have been awesome. I would have been all over that.
That
would have been
like right after that.
No, that's what I'm saying though, but it's not. It's when they got stupid.
No. This is the next one.
Yeah, I get it.
Diablo, Murcielago. It's the next one.
Okay, but it's weird looking.
It's the best one, I think. You're older than me, so you think that one's better looking.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah,
I'm a Countach fan. Are you kidding me?
Okay,
I had that as a toy car. I love the Countach.
Yeah.
What?
I also have a Countach toy car, but
Yeah.
He didn't buy a Countach, though.
yeah, I have a Diablo Countach, 2 Murcielagos. Yeah, but I don't have one real Murcielago in the garage. But
I would have gone for the Diablo.
I don't blame you.
It's just as unreliable. Far worse getting parts.
Yeah.
No service information. Everything's
You don't
obsolete.
need service information. You just whack it with a hammer, David.
No,
It's not whacking that with a
throw
hammer.
meatball sandwich at it. Italian.
That,
I think that's
super
what you're supposed to
Italian,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then they'd sell off. At that point, they were VAG, weren't they?
With Murcielago, yeah.
Yeah. That was. I guess that's my problem with it. It's not really an Italian.
But everybody
car.
says this is the one. This is the one that got perfect because it's the synthesis of the Italian craziness and the German reliability.
Bro,
Dude, what are you talking about? What are you? Are you serious?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we super unreliable German cars, super unreliable Italians. Let's
combine
them. And how the afterbirth is the Murcielago.
Just got a visual of that. That's terrible.
That's why it's one of the most sought after cars in the world.
Maybe we could define
like
sought after.
It's like some of us just go, no.
I'll take my
I'm
Grand
good.
Caravan instead, or my Nissan Rogue.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I gotta listen, man.
Is it a Rogue that you have?
I've got a Pathfinder. I've got a Rogue. I look, these cars, they break down, and the Nissan owners, they're like, I can't fix that, and I'm like, $500. Bet.
Yeah. I have a Pilot that I got like that. I have a Lexus ES300 I got like that.
I just bought a Pilot.
What?
Yeah.
A Nissan's, that makes sense. Who gives up on an ES300 or a Pilot?
Ooh, I think there's an ES300 at the shop.
This was a one owner, very very clean Pilot. Yeah, 160,000 miles.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
First
Great.
gen, second gen?
03, first gen.
Yeah. Ooh, those are good.
Mm-hmm.
The second gens were.
I took my kid home from the hospital in that car.
The 03 Pilot? Yeah.
because my Explorer had broken down. So
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
That's
Explorer.
kind of to be
as
expected.
they do, yeah, water pump on
Yeah.
that EcoBoost.
Yeah, it's-
Ooh. Oh.
It was in the shop for a couple
That's
months.
the worst
Yeah.
kind of Explorer. The front wheel drive EcoBoost Explorer.
It's all-wheel drive.
I can appreciate Ford's willingness to come up with simple solutions, right?
So what?
The EcoBoost is the way to go, right? Like, have you seen the TSB for the icing and the oil buildup in the intercooler? You ever seen that?
No.
It says drill a small hole in the bottom of the intercooler, put a plastic plug in it. Swear
So
to God.
you can drain it out? Oh my goodness.
It works.
They don't make enough boost to blow the plug out. It's fine.
I didn't even think about that.
Benji Burris has one, and we were in Charleston. I'm like, hey man, has this thing got a misfire? He's like, shut up. I'm like, dude, like, I swear to God, it's got a misfire. He's like, no, Lucas, it doesn't have a misfire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, Benji, I think it's got a misfire. And he's like, bro, it's an EcoBoost. They all do that. And like, so they do. Like, you can sit there and fill them. And I had this one dude, he was so determined that I was going to fix this misfire in this F-150. And I mean, it's just not possible. Like, you can do everything you can ever imagine.
Do they really?
Yeah. Like, some of them would randomly have these like little stutters or misfires.
My minivan, all of your 3.6s, because they have port fuel injection, just normal fuel injection, but they're like, hey, we got to get really good gas mileage. They lean the crap out of those cars to the edge of misfire. And so the misfire counter will start to creep up. But as long as it doesn't hit into the hundreds, you don't do anything with it. You leave it alone. You replace spark plugs a little sooner. That's the only thing that kind of smooths them out. Yeah.
We've got a lot of Grand Cherokees like that.
Yeah.
A lot of spark plugs and coils and Grand Cherokees, come to think of it.
Dude.
So what is you have one shop, you make it wildly successful when you stop doing everything other than running the shop and doing the consulting.
Yep.
And then you decide to you bought a second shop?
Correct.
On the cheap?
Yes.
Good location or what? Like
great location, demographics in that area are amazing.
And the guy wanted out, or what was going
75 years old. He'd been trying to sell it for a year and a half.
Bastard.
He sold it to me for $100 grand.
on? Just cash. You just wrote a check, and there you go. Get out,
Dude. How does he do this?
It
Like,
wasn't-
how does he always come up with the good ones?
It wasn't get out. It was, I would like to keep working part-time for the foreseeable future. And I said, well, okay, I don't really want part-time, but if you're going to be my lead diagnostic technician, like, okay, you can stay on. Maybe I'll try to find somebody else. The first week, he makes the wrong call on a Mercedes transmission, and I eat $1,100 of fluid services that it didn't need.
Oh, geez.
And I started recruiting for
Yeah.
for another tech, and I fired him. So he'd run a successful business for 50 years, and he lasted one week in my shop.
How successful was it that he sold it all?
Yeah, not that
sold it
much.
all for 100,000.
It was a small shop. It's not a lifestyle business, but it was
How did he take
mom
it?
and pop.
Is that
How
a
did he
thing?
take it
Is that a
when he-
lifestyle business a thing? I'm going to start calling my businesses lifestyle business. That's
he
what I
was-
have. I have a very successful lifestyle business, Lucas.
There is nothing successful about that or your lifestyle.
I was going
I
to say.
don't know what you said. I was standing on the beach watching the sunrise yesterday with my family. Yeah, eat that. Thank you very much.
Wondering how am I going to pay the bill?
I was worried about the bills at that particular moment. Now, a couple hours later, I'm going, I hope they finish that workout.
But how long have you been sitting in this windowless room since then? You were on the beach?
No, you take the good and the bad.
Okay,
you have good conversations in here.
No, I mean, it like this is actually pretty enjoyable. We have a good time doing
No,
this.
yeah. It is a good time. But
we
yes,
get to go.
so I fired the previous owner.
How did he take it?
Oh, he was not happy.
Well, I've got to know, like, play by play.
So there was a small sort of tail to the purchase price that I said, I'm going to overpay you as a tech for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we will figure out how to go from there as far as your future part-time employment. But he was doing, transition assistance kind of thing. And we were 5 weeks in. And the deal was if he didn't make it all 8 weeks for whatever reason, that I would pay out the difference of the overpayment right then. Mm-hmm. And so I walked up to him. He came in early in the morning, as he always did, and I was already there. And I said, I have 2 checks for you. Here's your payment for last week, and here's the balance of the purchase price. And I don't need you anymore.
So did he know why?
Cold.
Did you ever
Cold.
share with him why?
At that time, I had already hired his replacement.
Okay, so you never told him like, hey, dude, you actually don't know what the hell you're doing.
I never said that to him. I did say, I don't need 2 high-level techs in the shop.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
But you didn't tell
it's-
him it's like, hey, there's a reason why I bought this business for $100,000 just because you were giving away $1,100 in fluid services for no reason for the last 50 years. Get out.
I didn't say that.
And listen, in this case, it's acceptable because the dude's going to die soon. So it's not like it's the end of the world.
Well, now he
not
stopped working. Yeah, he's
but
gonna
also
die
there
soon.
is the fact that
Arun killed him?
No, I did not. He lived in the same neighborhood and is in, he goes to church with all the customers.
Oh,
So I can't just go burn the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to keep the customers. They're good customers.
But I mean, David's got a point. Now he's not working. He's old. He's going to die.
I don't know there were churches in California.
He's
I'm
he
driving.
Is that old.
That there were back when they had
Right.
churches.
Yep.
I'm driving through L.A. when we went.
Yeah.
Didn't we go? Yeah, we went.
That was when
for?
we were in Costa Mesa with ETI.
Yeah.
Because you went north to go to the theme park.
Yeah. Okay. So we were driving through LA, and I'm not kidding. There were more psychics buildings than there were churches. Like, you're in Kansas or even North Carolina, maybe. I don't know. But in Kansas, it's church. And maybe you'll see palm reading or something in some corner.
When we were in San Diego last, we were walking around downtown, and there were quite a few churches downtown in San Diego.
San Diego is a bit old-fashioned that way, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, L.A. and the Bay Area are the less religious,
Godless heathens. You can say godless heathens.
All right.
Fine.
Still my customer.
After I left that hotel, so the blue line went right behind the hotel, right? And so like all night long, this thing's going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And
in San Diego?
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking like, hey, maybe about like midnight or something, this thing will stop running. So I got so used to it. By the time I left and I went home, I couldn't sleep. I was like, I need some sort of noise. Like maybe if I play train noise on my phone, I'll be able to sleep. But dude, she asked me, she's like, hey, this is a nicer room, but it's like, it can get a little rowdy. And I'm like, what kind of rowdy? And she's like, well, there's a train that goes up and down through the air and, it's on the street. And okay, all right, sure. I guess I'll take that one. Holy cow, dude, nonstop. I mean, like every 5 minutes. It would like, and what was so weird is
was it a stop or just coming through?
There was a stop behind and there was a stop down the block. And so what was so crazy about it, I was getting ready to say, is that when they pulled up to switch tracks, every time he pulled up, when he was going to start backing up, it triggered the like crossing arms. So even if he didn't go through and make all the noise, blowing the horn and everything else, the crossing arms still went down every 15 minutes. Like, what in the world, man? This is crazy. Yeah. And the room, man.
That good?
It was, dude, I'm just going to tell you, like, of all the things, I've always been a very positive person, and I don't mean to bitch and complain, but when the faucet in the shower, like if you can't move it more than like a quarter centimeter in either direction without it being like so hot you can't stand in it or so cold you can't take a shower, that's like my pet peeve. I just can't. My hotel here is like that too.
No, so this one, you have to pull it out, but then you got to just flick it.
Yeah.
Just give it a little tappy tap, and you'll get it to about the right temperature. I like the water pressure here.
Yeah,
it's insane.
if you move around and you like move too much and you bump it with your elbow, you'll scorch yourself.
Yeah. I fall by all of a sudden you're like swing. Yeah, that is a thing. Are you staying here?
I am, but I'm not going through this experience.
Really?
Because, well, at least my room, the ceiling in the shower is extremely short.
Oh, so you're using the tub instead of the shower?
There's no tub.
Oh, we got tubs.
I don't have that kind of room. I'm sorry. I actually forgot to
That's
book.
why he has money and we don't.
I forgot to book my hotel room until I landed. So I got wedged in. I was invited to speak, but I never enrolled or got any emails about logistics or anything like that. And I completely forgot to.
Yeah, Jimmy. What are you doing, Jimmy?
I had a similar experience.
No, he didn't do anything wrong. That was all Jimmy. Jimmy was supposed to handle all that nonsense.
No, I've already. Kent actually gave me permission to throw him under the bus because they spelled my name wrong in the program.
Oh. Did they call you Aaron?
No, it's Kumar.
Oh, no. Like Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the traditional
It
spelling.
sounds legit.
It's the other spelling. There's two spellings in my last name.
How do you spell your last name?
Coumar.
I guess I knew that,
But so yeah,
I knew it.
I
'cause
see
he's
it in
been
my
on the
head. I
podcast
see it in my
before.
head the other way.
I don't.
so you
see
wrote
it.
the program.
I might have. It's probably my
But
fault.
also the bio, I guess they got it off of my consulting business website. And so it says Arun is a trusted advisor to all these automotive aftermarket business. I'm like, I'm a shop owner. That's what I'm here to talk about is the fact that I am a shop owner.
Yeah.
And that's what bio you put on here has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a shop owner.
oh my god.
So, oh well, it's the fine print in the back of the book, so I didn't care too much. But I made sure to text a picture to Kent.
Yeah, that's
So,
freaking
yeah.
hilarious.
And I was very thankful that the hotel still had rooms available. But the point is the ceiling is about 2 inches from the top of my head, and the shower head hangs down.
Oh, it's so it like points at your neck.
correct. Yeah.
Or his balls. It's hitting his balls this whole time. And he's just like,
He gets on his knees.
so
Dude, what happened to your knees? I had to take a shower.
but yeah, so I can't even get close to the handle.
oh, poor Arun. He was telling me outside. He's like, yeah, I went back and listened to the podcast. And he's like, man, I don't know why I told that
This is
story
even
the day. It's so much worse. He's gonna never be on this podcast
my
again. We're not trying to do
No,
this
I think
to you.
I think I've maintained my dignity better this time around.
It's us looking like
Yeah,
fools, is what he's
you
saying.
two the clowns. You cackling hyena over here.
No, it's okay. I did appreciate last time we went deep on tax avoidance, and the stuff I used to do with
Yeah.
with the accounting world.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
at this point, I am very optimistic the IRS is going to be abolished.
That's true. Yeah, I think we're in a good place.
I wish it would have happened a couple of weeks ago before my dad dropped a $100K check to him just to like.
Well, that's funding the abolishment, the dissolution of.
that's funding all the federal employee buyouts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down with that.
I thought a judge had put a pause to that.
They
Yeah.
extended the deadline.
Oh, did they even
Yeah.
further?
Well, I think that's what the judge did.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means.
Well, it's because you're either if you don't
Right.
take the buyout, you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just- it's crazy how
it says if you don't take the buyout, you might get fired.
They're going to get fired.
Yeah, I mean, like we're pretty inefficient here.
Yeah.
And pretty inefficient.
Yeah.
They're inefficient everywhere. Here's the most disgusting thing, though. Here's the most disgusting thing. US aid was funneling money into charities, individual charities, okay,
Yeah.
that were ran by a board of directors, unelected board of directors. The same people were on the board of directors of all of these different charities, and they were all collecting high six-figure salaries from these charities, which were then receiving money from USAID. They were essentially funneling money to these people through this network of charities and being on the board of directors, and just they were paying people off.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane.
So this thing you're shopping for right now, please deduct it for the benefit of all of us.
Well,
What am I paying my taxes for? I want these people's names. I want their names.
What's the
I want to show up with all the letters and all the threats I've gotten from this government. You understand they were coming after me so I could pay you to do what exactly? I will metaphorically choke the life out of these people. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I go to church. I go to church. I do. I'm not kidding. I go to church with this guy. He's my hero. He is my hero. Okay. He owns an epoxy flooring business. Very successful. Very successful.
Does he drive a Lamborghini?
He drives a Maserati. But he's like, it's one of my dream cars. You look ridiculous. But whatever. Okay. He drives a Maserati. He didn't want to pay his taxes. He didn't want to pay his taxes. This was before he was like involved in our group and stuff like that. But He didn't want to pay his taxes. So when they would send him angry letters saying, hey, you haven't filed your taxes, you haven't paid your taxes, he was sending foul, expletive-laden letters back to the IRS, essentially saying F you.
Yeah.
And it got so bad that he took the swear word filled letter. He was taping it onto the office of the local IRS. Guess what happened?
They took all the money out of his account.
And they sent him to jail for 3 years.
Yeah.
He served 3 years in jail for tax avoidance.
Tax evasion.
You got to draw the
don't say.
line. You got to draw the line. That was evasion because he went to jail.
Yeah.
He went to jail for 3 years.
So,
He's like
He's
they
your
were
hero
very,
for
he's my hero. He is my hero. He took it all the way. He's like, throw me in jail. See what happens.
That's
he made
fair.
friends in jail. Are you kidding me? He made friends in jail. He's that's that kind of guy like you. You would show up to jail. Everybody's your friend. Nobody would bother you. I'm just telling you. That's how it would be.
what would happen to you?
Oh, it wouldn't be good. I'm just saying I would get shanked, like shivved very early on.
Bro,
Like somebody would stab me in the middle of the night.
I'm a little worried that isn't what would happen. But
I would bleed out from wherever. I'm just saying it would be bad.
Just
it
don't
would
drop
be
the
bad.
soap. It'll be fine.
I don't think it would come to that. I'm going to say something or see, like, give him a look or that somebody's going to. Anyway, he made friends in jail. He took it all the way. He wasn't messing around. I'm just saying, I would, at this point, sue the government. I went to jail for 3 years for tax evasion to do what? What was I paying for? That guy's salary, $20 million, so
Look,
Iraq
even-
could get Sesame Street? Where were my tax dollars going? That you had to throw me in jail for not paying it. That's what I would be so
Yeah,
mad.
but here's the thing: is that's not even the worst part of the waste, right? The worst part of the waste is in local government every single day, and so like the hospital that I was affiliated with at one point in time, like what do they do with their budgets? Well, if you don't spend all your money, we're going to reduce your budget, so you have to spend more money. What do local municipalities and all these people do? Well, if you don't spend more money, you're going to have your budget reduced. So you have to spend all of your budget, and then you have to ask for more, right? That's how it operates. And the problem is that it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, and it creates this wastefulness. I mean, the situation that I found myself in was somebody who had been working in that environment, and it was like, hey, I just have to spend more money. I have to spend more money. I have to spend more money. And so it's like, I need 50 boxes of these pens, and I have 50 boxes of these pens, and I need 25 boxes of these batteries, and we need all these ink cartridges. And put them on subscribe and save and forget about them, right? And just leave them forever. And it's like, where's the money coming from? Like, what? Seriously, where is the money coming from? How do you spend $143,000 a month on credit cards? You just...
I was part of the economic development advisory team for the city that I live in. This was discussed. This did it for me.
Yeah.
And I went to the first meeting, and this was a newly formed advisory committee to city council.
Yeah.
And we went to the first meeting, and they brought in the city manager, and she introduced herself and read her resume for 25 minutes, and then said, okay, so let's all come to a consensus about what the purpose of this organization, this committee is. And they asked each of us to sort of pitch our idea.
Perspective.
And I was the only one who didn't say raise tax revenues. And then the city manager basically just said, great, we're going to raise tax revenues. And I was like, wait a minute. Can we talk about, economic development doesn't just mean raise tax revenues. It means, I thought it meant economic prosperity in the city.
Yeah.
Not for the city.
Right. Exactly.
And so I kind of paused everybody at the end of the meeting, and I said, what about expenses? Can we look at maybe reducing expenses? And they said to me, well, it all just goes to the police anyways. Don't worry about it. And so I went and looked at the city annual report, and it was like 60% to the police. And we have we just had a mayoral election this past year.
Yeah.
And the guy who won it was campaigning on, we need more police officers, because at any given time in this city of 80,000 people, there are 4 active duty police officers driving around in 10-year-old Explorers. So I don't know where this
The 60% went.
It's something like, I can't remember, 6 or 12 like $1 million going to the police every year. And then the other, whatever it was, $8 million. I don't know where it's going. And this was it for me. And I basically quit the whole thing and just said, I can't do this.
I guarantee it's pensions. I guarantee it's pensions.
It's just government employee pensions.
For the police force, yeah. Like they overpromised, and then said, "Hey, we're going to pay X amount of dollars, set salary for the rest of your life."
Right.
And people kept retiring, and then the bill kept getting higher and higher and higher. And they're like, "Hey, 70% of our budget's going to pensions. We are not going to rework this." It's like, okay, what are you gonna run on taking away some 80-year-old ex-police officer's pension? No, it's like, okay, then we just keep paying it and we find new ways to tax our citizens.
And we're at 11% sales tax.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. In my city, we almost have 11%. We have zones that are 11% sales tax with the zones with the stores. So if you go into the zone with the store to go buy something, you pay 11% sales tax. Yeah. But then the city has the audacity to show off their new equipment.
Like what?
So on Facebook,
did they get a Lamborghini?
So they got the Lamborghini of a tree picker thing or whatever, that little thing that goes up and down, brand new, specced out. They're like, and they give it catchy names. They're like, oh, here's Zippy. Like, what in the are you talking about? This is what I post on there. Like, what are you talking about? That thing is $12 million. That's my freaking property taxes you're pulling that out of. What are you doing? What happened to the old one? Yeah. Was it working? Did you just get rid of it? If we don't spend it, we don't cut our butts. That's the point.
So I did want to have one other topic in here. It's continuation of how I get such good deals on shops. So this third shop, the guy was losing money every month. And he wanted $150,000, and I basically said, "Well, that assets and locations worth like 90. I'll give you 100." And he said, "No way. I want 125 at least." And I had in my offer pitched a closing date that was 3 months ahead, and I basically just said, "How about we close sooner because you're losing money every month?" And he said, "Okay, fine, 100."
That is hilarious.
That was easy.
You're not buying the property, right? It's just the business and that. And
just
then
lifts,
are you
tire
like
machines, tax?
Okay. Yeah. And then are you going in and talking to the property owner saying, "Hey, I want a 10-year lease or 15-year lease," or something? Like, how are you dealing with the property and the space?
I'm getting a lease, not that long.
Yeah.
I think both of the recent acquisitions were 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because no SBA, 10-year thing or anything like that. So,
well, I'm just, if you sometimes you can get more favorable terms if you say, "Hey."
I did that with going from a 3-year to a 5-year with the third shop.
First refusal if they try to sell out from underneath you, or
these are all. I would never do that in California.
Try to buy the property.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing. It's the kind of thing where if you don't have millions of dollars to start with, then your mortgage is going to be 3 times what your rent would be.
Yeah,
pretty much anywhere you go. So,
are they making money? Is the question. Or the shops, like, you went in and implemented the same system that you implemented in the other shop. You got them moving. You cleaned things up. You worked on the reputation, and now they're making money, right?
Yeah. So. This is where I'm still torn with the consulting business, because the consulting business makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I don't enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
So I do it and it's lucrative, but I don't want to do it.
What don't you like about it?
It is client service, which is not building your own thing.
Yeah.
I'm building my own business that's reliant upon my clients' businesses.
Yeah.
And it's not something where I can have a thought and take action very quickly. I have to have a thought and then tell somebody what to do. And I don't
and then
like
they
that.
choose whether they implement it or not, and you don't see the fruits of the labor.
And there's so much contingency around trusting other people to do what you're asking them to do.
Right.
And I don't like that.
I think
You got to see something tangible. You see, you got to detach yourself from that nonsense. You don't care. You're like, hey, I want to impact whatever it is I'm doing. I don't care. For example, we just spent, I don't know, an hour throwing stupid jokes out and laughing, right? Now, if I were like you, I would be like, what kind of impact am I going to provide with this podcast? And you see, I don't care. You see what I'm saying? Now, is there going to be some, maybe they'll hear something you said and they'll run with it, right? Because we provided no value. No, we didn't. Neither one of us provided any value whatsoever.
No, just drill a hole in the bottom of the EcoBoost intercooler.
yeah. Hey, look,
At the end of the day, though, did you have a good time doing it? Yeah. Is it providing you what you need financially? Yeah. So, like, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I got what I need out of it.
But that's how I feel about
The
the
impact
shops.
is irrelevant.
That's
Does that make sense?
I would rather feel like I can do it all. I have the impact on my customers with giving them a good service and confidence in their ability to drive their cars to work or wherever every day. And I'm having fun doing it, and it provides for my life.
Fun running a shop?
Yes. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I
is
enjoy
that what they
running a
say?
shop.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
I can see the stress in your face. You kidding me?
That's just the culmination of all the things.
Yeah, that's true.
All of the podcasts
Yes.
with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they add up after a while.
Whatever. This is a stress relief for him.
Yes.
For him, you're the one who's been screaming the whole time. You have much stress relief off
I don't know
this.
if you know this. He's actually the reason that we talk about taxes all the time is he's really kind of running for a special office with undercover. He's working on becoming Trump's new tax czar.
Taxes czar.
Oh, yeah. Donald Trump, I will be your tax czar. I will handle things. Don't you worry. Burn it all to the ground. We need to
as much as you
kind
love
of
Donald
fund
Trump, I'm worried you might handle other things too. I'm just saying.
Yikes.
Listen, if you got to take one for the team to make sure that he executes on the plan, I'm not his type, let me tell you. I'm not.
Hey, a little bit of plastic surgery will get you right there.
No, I don't think so.
Hey,
I
listen,
don't
you
think
already
so.
mixed up your meds. You were almost there.
I was on my way. I'm just saying that, we want to make sure that he executes entirely on whatever nonsense he was spouting out. Like, oh, I don't know. Why do we need income taxes? I don't know, Donald Trump. We don't need income taxes. That's nuts. What are you doing with the money? They were funding sex changes
In Guatemala.
in Guatemala. That's what they were doing with the money. Okay, great. That's wonderful. And you know what? It was always funny watching Rand Paul and his dad would get up and they would read off the most ridiculous grants that they had in the budget. They'd be like, we spent $250,000 to study the effects of cocaine on quails. Why? But the problem was he wasn't actually looking at the big numbers. He was looking at the stupid stuff. But like, at no point did you not realize that we were spending whatever $7 million.
It was for effect. It was for effect.
I get it, but dude, like, what the crap? What the crap? Really, $20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq? Seriously? Like, what are we doing?
I wish I knew.
And they're throwing people in jail for not paying it. That's wrong. Dude, that's messed up. That's so messed up.
This
Paying
is the
these
impact
people.
we're having.
Yeah,
This
I
is
mean,
great.
They were
Yeah.
paying people salaries. The same people they were on the same board of directors, 7 different charities, and they were paying all these charities. They were funneling money to Politico so they could write puff pieces for the administration. It was so disgusting. Whatever, I quit.
I'm going to have to sell that shop.
I'm working on it.